The Delphi Murders is a case that refuses to fade into silence. Two teenage girls set out for a simple afternoon walk and vanished into one of the most haunting mysteries in modern American true crime. What happened on that trail wasn't just a tragedy. It became a puzzle filled with eerie clues, chilling audio, and a suspect who seemed to exist in plain sight. February 13, 2017 started like any other day in Delphi, Indiana. It was unseasonably warm for winter, and the small town felt calm, almost peaceful. Best friends Abigail Williams and Liberty German decided to spend their day off school exploring the Monon High Bridge Trail, a local spot known for its scenic views and quiet paths. Liberty's older sister dropped them off just after 1:30 p.m. The plan was simple. Walk the trail, take some photos, enjoy the day. At 2:07 p.m., Liberty posted a photo of Abigail standing on the old railroad bridge. It would be one of the last normal moments ever captured. By around 3:15 p.m., the girls were supposed to be picked up. But they never showed. At first, it seemed like a misunderstanding. Maybe they lost track of time. Maybe their phones died. But as minutes turned into hours, concern turned into panic. Families called out their names. Volunteers began searching the trails. By nightfall, dozens of people were combing the woods with flashlights. The next day, February 14th, searchers made a devastating discovery. The bodies of Abigail Williams and Liberty German were found near Deer Creek, not far from the trail they had been exploring. The case immediately transformed from a missing persons search into a full-scale murder investigation. But this case had something most others didn't. A clue left behind by one of the victims herself. Before they disappeared, Liberty had the presence of mind to record video on her phone. In that short clip, a man can be seen walking toward them on the bridge. He's wearing a blue jacket, jeans, and a hat. His face is partially obscured, but his figure is unmistakable. Even more chilling is the audio captured alongside the video. A voice, calm yet commanding, says just 4 words. Down the hill. Those words would echo across the nation. The man in the video became known as Bridge Guy. And for years, he would remain one of the most recognizable yet unidentified suspects in American criminal history. Authorities released the footage and audio to the public, hoping someone would recognize him. The image spread everywhere. News outlets, social media, billboards. Everyone had seen Bridge Guy. Yet no one could definitively name him. As the investigation deepened, details remained tightly controlled. Police confirmed that the crime scene was complex, but they withheld specifics, fueling both curiosity and frustration. The lack of transparency led to endless speculation. Tips poured in by the thousands. Some believed the killer was a local who knew the area well. Others thought he could be a drifter passing through. Sketches were released, then replaced with new ones that looked drastically different. Each update seemed to raise more questions than answers. Years passed, and the case began to feel like it might never be solved. If you've been following this case, or if this is your first time hearing about it, take a moment to hit subscribe and join Shadow Files. Because stories like this aren't just mysteries. They're reminders that sometimes the truth is hiding closer than we think. One of the most puzzling aspects of the Delphi murders is how much evidence exists, and how little it seemed to lead anywhere. The video, the audio, the timeline. It all painted a picture, but the identity of the killer remained just out of reach. Investigators hinted that the suspect might have inserted himself into the investigation. That he could be someone who followed the case closely, even attended press conferences. This possibility added an unsettling layer. The idea that the killer could be watching everything unfold in real time. There were also rumors about digital evidence. Liberty's phone didn't just capture the video. It may have recorded more than what was released publicly. Authorities have suggested that additional audio exists, but they've never shared it. Why hold back such critical information? Some believe it's because those details contain something only the killer would know. Then came one of the biggest developments in the case. In 2022, more than 5 years after the murders, a man named Richard Allen was arrested and charged in connection with the deaths of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. He was a local resident, someone who had lived in Delphi for years. According to reports, he had even admitted to being on the trail the day the girls disappeared. The arrest shocked the community. For so long, people had wondered if the killer was hiding in plain sight. Now, it seemed that might actually be true. But the story didn't end there. Details surrounding the arrest raised new questions. What led investigators to Alan after all this time? Was it a mislead? A piece of evidence that finally clicked? Or something else entirely? Court documents revealed that a bullet found near the crime scene was linked to a firearm owned by Alan. This forensic connection became a key part of the case against him. Yet, even with this evidence, debates began to emerge. Some questioned whether the investigation had overlooked other potential suspects. Others pointed to the long delay in making an arrest. How could someone allegedly connected to the crime remain undetected for so many years? And then there were the theories. One theory suggests that the crime was carefully planned. The killer knew the trail, understood the terrain, and chose a location where escape would be possible. The Monon High Bridge itself is narrow and elevated, making it difficult to pass someone without close contact. This could mean the girls had no way to avoid him once he approached. Another theory is far more unsettling. That the crime may not have been planned at all. That it was a spontaneous act, carried out by someone who saw an opportunity and took it. This would explain the seemingly ordinary appearance of Bridge Guy. A man who didn't stand out, who blended into the environment. There's also speculation about whether more than one person was involved. While authorities have primarily focused on a single suspect, some believe the nature of the crime suggests otherwise. Could there have been an accomplice? Someone who helped before or after the act? And perhaps the most haunting theory of all is the idea that the full story hasn't been revealed. That there are still pieces missing, details that haven't been made public, truths that remain hidden behind the walls of an ongoing investigation. Even with an arrest, the Delphi murders continue to grip the public imagination. Because this case isn't just about solving a crime. It's about understanding how something so horrific could happen in such an ordinary place. Two friends went for a walk on a warm afternoon. They laughed, took pictures, and trusted the world around them. And somewhere along that trail, they encountered someone who would change everything. The video Liberty recorded has become one of the most chilling pieces of evidence in true crime history. Not just because it shows the suspect, but because it captures a moment of awareness. A realization that something wasn't right. That instinct, that decision to press record, turned Liberty into more than a victim. It made her a key witness in her own case. As the legal process continues, many questions still remain. Will there be a full confession? Will every detail finally come to light? Or will parts of this mystery remain unsolved, even after a conviction? What we do know is this. The Delphi murders left a scar on a small town and a lasting impact on everyone who followed the case. It's a reminder of how fragile safety can be, and how even the smallest clue can carry enormous weight. So what do you think really happened on that trail? Was this the act of a lone killer hiding in plain sight? Or is there more to the story that hasn't been uncovered yet? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the darkest and most mysterious cases, make sure you subscribe to Shadow Files and turn on notifications. Because the next story might be even more unsettling than this one. Until next time, stay curious. And stay safe.